There's a question that echoes in the hearts of romantics, the spiritually curious and the quietly lonely. Is there someone out there made just for me? One soul, one match, one perfect fit. We call it a soulmate. It's in our movies, our books, our late-night prayers. It's an idea we carry, sometimes in hope, sometimes in heartbreak. But when we bring that idea into the light of Scripture, the question gets more complex. Is the idea of soulmates biblical, or is it just beautifully marketed wishful thinking? Let's dig in, slowly, deeply, honestly. The word soulmate isn't in the Bible, but the longing behind it is. Let's get this out of the way first. The Bible never uses the word soulmate. You won't find it in Genesis or Revelation or anywhere in between. God didn't hand Adam a scroll that said, "Congratulations, you found your one and only." That word, soulmate, comes from philosophy, poetry, and culture. But just because the term isn't in Scripture doesn't mean the desire behind it is unholy. The desire to be deeply known and still chosen, to be fully seen and not rejected, to be joined with someone in purpose, in passion, in peace. That desire is biblical. It is ancient. God saw that it wasn't good for Adam to be alone, and He created Eve, not just to solve Adam's loneliness, but to help him walk out his assignment. So while the Bible doesn't affirm the mythical soulmate idea, it absolutely affirms the ache for divinely connected companionship. Love isn't a distraction in Scripture, it's often part of your destiny. You're not promised a one and only, but you are called to love with purpose. Let's be real. The idea of one single perfect person out of 8 billion sounds romantic until you start living in real life. People change, life is unpredictable, and sometimes God allows multiple paths that can still lead to purpose if your heart is aligned with Him. The Bible never says, "Thou shalt find your perfect match," or be doomed to emotional mediocrity forever. It doesn't give us a divine dating app. What it does give us is wisdom. The emphasis in Scripture isn't on finding the right person. It's on becoming the kind of person who can love righteously. It's about walking in forgiveness, humility, faithfulness, self-control, sacrificial love. The kind of love that isn't built on butterflies, but on covenant. So maybe it's not about finding the one. Maybe it's about choosing someone daily, loving them on purpose, and inviting God into that commitment, not as a spectator, but as the architect. Still, God can absolutely orchestrate relationships. Just because God doesn't hand out custom soulmate certificates doesn't mean He's sitting back and letting you figure love out on your own. The same God who numbers your hairs and orders your steps absolutely cares about who you share your life with. Think about it. Ruth just so happened to end up in Boaz's field. Isaac met Rebekah because Abraham's servant prayed and followed the Spirit. Joseph was chosen to be Mary's protector, not randomly, but strategically. God is not a matchmaker in the shallow sense. He is a weaver. He aligns, He nudges, He speaks, He confirms. So no, the Bible doesn't promise that there is only one person you can marry, but it absolutely shows us that some relationships are too timely, too healing, too transformational to be chalked up to luck. You'll know you're in one of those when peace outweighs pressure, when clarity follows connection, when your spirit exhales, not your fantasy inflates, and inviting God into that commitment, not as a spectator, but as the architect. Soulmates might be a myth, but sacred partnership is very real. We've turned love into a highlight reel, flowers, forehead kisses, movie script moments. But God's vision for love is much deeper than vibes. His version of connection isn't about perfect compatibility. It's about spiritual alignment. He's not interested in two people who look good in photos. He's interested in two people who build something eternal together, who push each other closer to Him, who confront sin in each other without crushing one another, who forgive quickly, serve humbly, and grow relentlessly. That's not a soulmate in the Hollywood sense. That's kingdom love, rooted in truth, fueled by grace, carried by commitment. What if I missed my soulmate? Let's speak to the heartbreak for a second, the one that got away, the timing that didn't align, the love that slipped through your fingers. Some people carry secret shame, thinking they missed their shot at their God-chosen person. But listen, God is not that fragile. His plans are not that narrow. Yes, some people leave, some relationships break. But redemption is His language. Restoration is His rhythm. If you've lost a relationship, it doesn't mean you lost your chance at love. God can rebuild. He can redirect. He can write new chapters that heal old ones. You're not late. You're not lost. You're not cursed. You are still seen, still held, still worthy of love, and capable of giving it.